Hey ho and welcome to my very first tutorial. And of course, it's a blue space marine. Even if there are more painting tutorials on YouTube than there are tigers left on this world, I thought I'd make it easier on myself and do another one. Let's get right into it. So every time I paint one of these dark blue boys, I like to start with a white primer, because I'm going to airbrush some of Leviathan purple into the shadows and a little bit of ultramarine blue all over the miniature. Here you see me painting the shadows from below because I really do like if it's a little more realistic, so I try to paint inside the legs, underneath the arms and everywhere the sun wouldn't touch it naturally, if it's coming from above of course. And when you're done with the shadow work and you are quite happy with it, go all over the miniature with the ultramarine blue. Keep in mind you can do this whole step with a brush, but an airbrush is easier and a lot smoother. The next step is pretty much forward. You take a good brush and paint all the joints of the armor in Black Legion contrast. I don't know if it's only me, but I sometimes forget to paint the joints in the stomach or belly area, so don't do the same mistake. The next step is also pretty much forward. Just paint all the parts and things in gold with Retributor armor. Keep in mind, it's always the easiest if you follow the shape of the part you're painting. I like to use lead belcher for all the silver parts on the Space Marine, but quite frankly there are not that much. Just paint the sword and a little bit on the bolt weapon, and here and there some little parts on this helmet for example. Next step would be the leather. Just pick the brown of your choice. I personally like to take a darker one, in this case it's Dried Bark by Games Workshop, and paint all the leathery bits. The next step would be painting all the reds. For example, the purity seals and the lenses of the eyes. And of course the handle of the sword. When you're painting the eyes, make sure your brush has a nice tip. You can achieve it like this, twisting the brush while pulling it towards you. And we need some Zenri dust for the rest of the purity seal. The next step is the famous edge highlighting. I'm still not sure if it's called because you use the edge of the brush or because you're just painting the edges. Maybe it's a little bit of both. If you know, please let me know. And because we are still in the tabletop ready phase of the progress, I don't overdo the edge highlighting. Just do a little bit on the helmet, a little bit on the leg, on the upper leg, maybe a little bit on the shoulders and the jetpack or whatever it calls. I know it's not a jetpack, but I don't know the in-game lore or whatever behind this back module. The next step would be shading all the golds. Keep in mind, shading is not just to slap some paint on it. We really try to follow the lines of the part we are painting, and we try to be resourceful with a shade, so we don't overdo it and have some ugly poolings or something. And now here we are. We have a perfectly painted, tabletop ready blue Space Marine. And if you like to push this miniature and the paint job a little bit further, just keep on watching. So I pull out the wet palette and my very favorite paint for this paint job, the Vallejo Wolf Grey 72047. So we mix a little bit of the Vallejo Wolf Grey with the Kalga Blue, and we try to create like a zigzaggedy pattern on all the places that aim towards the sky. My mental guideline for this paint job is the sword. I try to place all the highlights as if the sword is the source of all the light. So all the highlight placements look towards the same direction. The further I go up on the miniature, for example the head, I always mix in a little bit more of the Wolf Grey into the Kalga Blue, so that the brightest points on this miniature actually are just Wolf Grey. And yeah, this step is pretty much repetitive for every armor part. We just keep an eye on having the brightest points always facing the same direction. So, for example, the brightest point on the shoulder has the same direction as the brightest point on the helmet or on the right armor. Try saying this 5 times in a row. I always like to spend a little more time on the helmet or the face of the miniature, because quite frankly it's the focus point, and it's always nice to have a little bit more color variations in there to make it look more interesting. And while we're here, I'd like to mention that patrons of a certain level will have the chance to get this very mini, because I really do like to give back to those who support me, and so this will be an ongoing theme. When you're happy with the armor, just pick your favorite orange. I like to use Wild Rider Redfoot and paint a little small orange dot into the lenses of the helmet. For the leathery parts, you can use the wolf gray again, mix it up with a little bit of dried bark and paint some highlights and scratches or whatever on the stashes. Here we have the final result. Thanks a lot for watching. Like, ratings and critique is very much appreciated. Subscribe to my channel and check out the links in the video description, for this is the fastest way to support me, and I hope to see you all in the next one.